When you hear the words roleplay server, what comes to mind? Is it a full-geared paladin roleplay walking across town because running ruins the immersion of their character's heavy plate armor? Is it accidentally walking into a tavern and getting trapped in a whisper chat with a mysterious stranger who describes his every blink in agonizing detail? Maybe you picture everyone refusing to use Discord because their character doesn't know what Discord is. If that's what you've imagined, you're actually not wrong. There's definitely some of that, just a lot less than you think. Monsters and Memories is currently deciding how many servers it needs for early access. One of those possibilities is a dedicated roleplay server. And I've seen quite a few people immediately dismiss the idea because they don't roleplay, which made me realize I think a lot of people misunderstand what roleplay servers actually are. I'm about to fully and completely abuse my channel powers, which are, let's be entirely honest, practically non-existent. I'm not exactly rocking a million sub-army here, but I am still going to play the underdog card and use every ounce of micro-influence to try and convince a few of you to actually choose an RP server. Whether that's for Monsters and Memories or whatever next-gen MMO you've got your eyes on, I genuinely think RP servers get a massive, deeply unfair reputation. But for my Monsters and Memories community, let's talk. Everyone else, I'll give you a timestamp on the screen to skip ahead. Okay, my Monsters and Memories friends. For my own purely selfish, completely transparent reasons, I am especially hoping a few of you will consider selecting the roleplay option in the current server poll. I'll put the link in the description, but I also want to dangle this carrot in front of you. During a recent stream, Shawn casually mentioned that the dev team has actively discussed tying potential character name reservations to whether or not you have actively filled out this server interest poll.
Any plans for name reservation before EA launch? There have been plans that we discussed, and we discussed linking that to whether or not you have filled out the server interest poll. We've discussed that. So that link right there.
Now, will they actually go through with it? Nobody knows. They were very, very clear that this is only a concept they've thrown around. But if there is even a sliver of a chance that spending 30 seconds filling out a poll could help you secure your coveted character name before launch, what does that actually hurt to do? However, please watch the rest of this video before you cross off the RP server as an option, because it's not what you think. Here's the secret nobody tells you. Most people on roleplay servers aren't actively roleplaying. There are probably 3 types of players on this server. Number 1, the dedicated roleplayers. These are actually the people you imagine them to be. They are delightfully quirky, deeply passionate, and they add a level of rich, vibrant flavor to the world only Frankie D. Kool-Aid could ever hope to match. Yes, they are the ones hosting late-night tavern gatherings, organizing elaborate in-game weddings, and having full-blown conversations with generic NPC guards, desperately trying to convince them to let them pass the city gates after curfew. And quite frankly, we are incredibly lucky to have them around. They make a static virtual world feel like a living, breathing place. But they are not the majority. Now, I have absolutely zero empirical data to support this. This is a vibe-based statistic, but I am being completely incredibly generous if I say maybe 20% of the server actually consists of these hardcore active role players. So who on earth makes up the other 80%? Let me tell you. Number 2, casual role players. And this is exactly where I fall. If you drop a little in-character banter in my general direction, I will gladly play along. I am mildly invested in the lore, I will occasionally show up at community events, and I will most definitely make sure my character has a believable, lore-friendly fantasy name. But that is it. I am not roleplay walking anywhere. I have things to do. I have copper to mine. I am not pacing myself like a dignified noble when there are quests to turn in. But if I run past you, I will absolutely cast Speed of the Wild on you and casually shout, "Fair shades and good fortune," just to make you think I actually know the lingo, because that's what the cool kids say in Felindriel. See, I am cultured. I am participating. I am practically an elf myself, an elf with a very busy schedule and 0 patience for walking. But then we have our third and final group, everyone else. This is probably, 60% of the population. These people are likely here because they have realized that RP servers tend to be infinitely more social, lore-friendly, and relaxed than standard servers. And if I had to invent a completely fake statistic, I'd say over half the players are here because the naming rules are infinitely better. RP servers generally have much stricter, actively enforced naming rules. And for me, that is 100% the number one selling point. I literally just made an entire video arguing that names matter, and the beauty of an RP server is that the community and the devs actually agree with me. Instead of running through a beautiful handcrafted fantasy forest only to see our good friend Soggy Waffle standing next to his bud Tankosaurus Rex, you are far more likely to meet someone whose name actually sounds like it belongs in the world. It sounds like a tiny thing, but atmosphere is built from hundreds of tiny things. So here's my final plea. If you've been avoiding roleplay servers because you think you'll be expected to roleplay every second you're logged in, I genuinely think you've misunderstood what roleplay servers are like. The overwhelming majority of players treat them just like any other MMO server. They group, they raid, they craft, they use Discord, they chat out of character. The difference isn't that everyone roleplays, it's that roleplay is welcome instead of expected. And yes, there are absolutely people who stay in character. If that drives you crazy, then a roleplay server probably isn't your thing. Personally, I find those people adorably weird. MMORPGs need more harmless weirdness. What keeps bringing me back to RP servers isn't the roleplay itself, it's the atmosphere. I like seeing lore-friendly names. I like communities where reputation matters. I like the possibility that a random encounter might turn into a player-created story. And I like playing with people who are invested in the world instead of treating it like a lobby between dungeon queues. RP servers don't magically create better communities. They simply attract people who value community. And that's why I think a roleplay server is such a natural fit for Monsters and Memories. This game is trying to recreate the social MMORPGs that many of us grew up with, where your name mattered, your reputation mattered, and after a few weeks, you actually started recognizing the people around you. A roleplay server won't force anyone to roleplay, but it might create exactly the kind of community this game is trying to build. Until next time, keep exploring. I'll see you in the next world.